Hello everybody, Emma here. Welcome to a warrior no flow. Let's begin in a seated position. I'm sitting in Tsukasana, but you could sit in Dandasana, legs out in front of you if you prefer. And let's just start by bringing the hands to the heart center, dropping the chin and allowing the eyes to close. Settling the body, taking a moment to begin to settle the mind. And then blink open your eyes, lift your gaze back into the light. Let's inhale and reach the arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. We'll do that a few more times. Wide arms, inhale up. And exhale, hands come down. Let's carry on. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach. And exhale. This is the last one. We'll reach the top. Inhale, reach up. And then take your right hand to the mat and reach over. Reach up and away with your left fingers. You can either look straight ahead, you could look down to your right hand, or you could turn your gaze and look up, so underneath your left elbow. Good. Breathe in, reach up, bring the right hand to join, and let's do the other side. Left hand down, reach high, and we'll flex over. Remember, you can take a downward gaze, neutral, or looking up. Good. Bring both hands up and palms together. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, good. Let's do a seated twist. So you can stay in cross-legged if you want, or you can come to Dandasana and then bend your right knee and cross it across the foot over the left, keeping the left leg straight or bending that as well. Inhale to reach up with your right hand and bring it behind you and hold on to your right knee with your left hand. Inhale and lengthen through the spine. And exhale, rotate. Starting to gaze towards your shoulder. Take it steady. We've only just got started. Let's come back to face forward and come back to your starting position of Dandasana. Okay, let's do the other side. Bring up the left knee, cross it over the right, or the foot over the right, and optionally bend the right leg as well. Sit tall, reach up and back with your left hand and hold on to the left knee with the right hand. Inhale, lengthen, and rotate, exhale. Good, and then come back to face forward. Release from your twist. We're going to come up to our feet now and crack on with our flow. If you don't feel you're warm enough, by all means take some additional poses. If you want to do some flow, you could take a few rounds of Sun Salutation A. Just put me on pause and then come back when you're ready. Otherwise, if you're ready to get going, let's start at the top of the mat. So remember, in this practice, there is no wrist work and there's no kneeling, so it's really good for anyone who's got problems with a more conventional flowing practice. Okay, so let's come to the top of the mat. Excuse me. Okay, so take your mountain pose. Relax your shoulders, palms forward. Take a few breaths in mountain, just getting ready for the practice. Good. And then let's inhale to extended mountain. And then we're going to take the right foot back, so a big step into high lunge. So sink into your high lunge. You can gaze ahead. You could gaze up if you like. Okay, let's have one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, we're going to drop the back heel and find warrior one. So make any adjustments to your hips that you need to here. And stay for 5 breaths in warrior one. So have a strong back leg, slightly drawing back in your left hip. Okay, last round of breath here. And then we're going to keep the left arm in the air and sweep the right hand behind your back. Inhale and lift your chest for reverse warrior one. So taking the spine back in space, an extension. You can pull your left thumb back if you like. Keep your lower body in your warrior position. Get your back leg straight. Stay with your breath. On an inhale, come back to face forward. Release your right hand, you're back to warrior one. Okay, now let's take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, draw the shoulder blades back, humble warrior one. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, hinge forward. Now you can either hinge and fold over your left leg, or you can go inside the left knee. And you can also lift your hands up and off your back if you like. Again, keep your body, your lower body, in warrior one. Okay, let's push down, send the chest forward, breathe in, come up, release your hands, last time on this side, warrior one, and then exhale, hands to hips, and bring the feet to parallel. Okay, good. Let's go to the other end of the mat. So turn your right foot, spin on your left toes, and let's step to the other end of the mat. Good. Mountain pose. I'm going to do all of that on the other side. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, big step back with your left foot, high lunge. Sink into your front knee, stay high on your back toes. Okay, let's drop the back heel to the mat. Make any adjustments you need to, warrior one. So we're trying to gently draw the right hip back, left hip forward, but no forcing. Two more breaths in warrior one. And then keep your right arm in the air, bring your left hand behind you, lift your chest, start to gaze up, reverse warrior one. The lower body stays in warrior one. We find in a back bend here, thumb pulling back, steady breath, 2, and 1. Gaze back to face forward and reach your left arm up. Exhale, bring your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Humble warrior one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. So, reverse warrior one. Again, you can take your hands off your lower back, start to work them up and maybe over your head. Another 2 breaths in the forward fold. And then push down, send the chest forward, breathe in, release your arms, warrior one. And then feet to parallel, wide leg fold position. Draw the shoulders back, breathe in. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips and fold down. Bring your hands onto the mat underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Option, you walk your hands back towards the line of the heels. Keep the elbows in. Bring the weight a little forward into the balls of your feet. Stay for another 3. And 2. And 1. Inhale to a half lift. Hands to hips, exhale. And inhale, come all the way up to the top. Good. Now we'll step back to where we started, at the top of the mat, and come back to mountain pose. Okay, so warrior 1 section completed. Now we're going to do the same options with warrior 2. So relax your shoulders, mountain pose. We're going to inhale, reaching up. And exhale, take the right foot back, high lunge. So step back into your high lunge. This time, we're going to exhale, hands to hips, and we're into our wide leg fold. And we're going to go to the other end of the mat first. So turn your right foot and your left toes slightly in. Breathe in and reach your arms up to shoulder height. And exhale to bend into your right knee. Take your gaze to the middle finger of your right hand. Soften your shoulders down. Have another breath or two in warrior 2. And then flip your right palm to the ceiling. Keeping the legs exactly as they are. Reach forward and then reach up for reverse warrior 2. So no longer is it a back bend. We're now getting into the lateral flexion of the spine rather than an extension of the spine. So a light touch, left hand on left leg. One more breath. And then come back, warrior 2. Okay, now let's take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, lift the chest, breathe in. And exhale, hinge forward towards the bottom corner of your mat. Coming down, taking your hands up and maybe over. So you might find there's a bit more space to fold in this, just an ever so slight change. Another 2. Good. Push down, send the chest forward. Breathe in, come up. Release your hands and come back to warrior 2. Good. Straighten your right leg. Bring your feet to parallel and we'll go straight to the other side. We'll come back and do the fold at the end. Okay, so adjust your feet. Inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Turning your gaze to the middle finger of your left hand, shoulders over hips. 5 breaths, warrior 2. Good, let's turn the left palm to the ceiling. Inhale and reach forward. And then reach up with your left hand and gently slide your right hand back and down. Reverse warrior 2. Oh, I forgot to say on the other side, where can you look? So you could look back, you could look up, or you could just have a neutral gaze. Choose whatever's right for you. Stay for another 2. Don't forget to keep your legs in warrior 2. And then let's breathe in. Come back to our warrior. Good. Interlace the hands behind the back. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Humble warrior 2. Breathe in and breathe out. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Release your arms, release your shoulders. Keeping your lower body in your warrior shape. Last 2 breaths. Okay, let's push down. Inhale, come up. Release your hands back to warrior two. Good. Straighten your left leg, feet to parallel. Another wide fold. This time, let's keep the hands on the hips. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. So when you keep the hands on your hips, you may feel that you can't go as low down. Just see, notice, observe what happens. Remember, you can keep a soft bend in the knees. No problem with that. Stay for 4 more breaths wherever you are. And then inhale, send your chest forward first, come all the way up, breathing in. And then we'll turn back to face the short edge of the mat, step your right foot forward, and exhale, mountain pose. Okay, now we're going to do the same things with warrior three. What on earth is a reverse warrior three, you might be saying? Well, you're about to find out. It can be a thing. We can make it a thing. For the purposes of this practice, we can make it a thing. Okay, so more challenging in terms of the transitions, perhaps. Let's bring the weight onto the left foot and lift up the right knee. When you're ready, come into a one-legged mountain. Breathe in. And then let's start to take this right leg back, hinging at the left hip, finding warrior three. Okay, stay in your warrior for a few more breaths. And then we're going to bring the left hand, back of the left hand to the left hip. And then we're going to pull the right thumb up and we're going to lift the chest and gaze forward. This is my interpretation of a reverse warrior three. So the chest lifts. Good, let's bring it back. Warrior three. If you fall out like I just did, come back in. Okay, hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, shoulders back. Breathing in. Breathe out, humble warrior three. Okay, so chest is dropping down. I don't know if it was a good idea to teach this and do it at the same time. Okay, stick with it. Good. Now, can we come back to one-legged mountain? Inhale, lift the chest. Bring the knee through. Release your arms, reach up. Exhale, mountain. You still with me? Good. Step out to a wide leg fold. That's quite challenging, all on one leg, right? Shoulders back. And let's fold forward. Hands to mat, lift the chest. Exhale. So just give the mind and the legs a little break. Maybe take some movement into the knees if you like. Halfway lift, inhale. And then take it to the other side of the mat. And inhale. Come up to an extended mountain. And exhale into mountain. Okay, so all of that on the other side. So this time the weight will be on the right foot, and let's lift up the left knee. Okay, so get steady here. Then inhale, reach your arms overhead, one-legged mountain pose. Find your steadiness. Let's go, warrior three. So send your left leg back, keeping your left hip down, reaching forward. Stay for a few breaths in warrior three. And then we're going to sweep the right hand onto the back of the right hip. We're going to inhale and start to lift the chest and pull your thumb up so you find a back bend in your warrior. Good. Come back to warrior three. And then take both hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, inhale, and exhale, fold over your right leg. Another 2 breaths and then we're done. And then breathing in. Send your chest up. Release to warrior 3. And then we're going to come back to one-legged mountain. I nearly had it. How about you? Exhale, mountain pose. Step it out, wide leg fold. Oh my goodness, that was quite challenging. I hope you did well with that. And if you fell out, I hope you came back in and had another go. Okay, final wide leg fold. Breathe in, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward. And this time, let's go for the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's take 5 breaths. If you don't like this particular variation, do any of the others. 3 more breaths. Good, and then inhale, halfway lift. And then I want you to toe heel your feet together and bring yourself down onto your mat and send your legs out in front of you. Good job. Release any extra padding out of the sitting bones and sit in Dandasana for a few breaths. Hands at the side of the hips. Lengthen. Gaze down towards your toes. Engage the legs. Nearly there. 2 more rounds of breath. Good. Exhale, release your heels down. Okay, let's do Dandasana, the head to knee pose. Bring up your left knee and drop your knee down, sole of the foot into the right thigh. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hinge forward. And take a forward fold over your right leg. Good work in your practice. It was short, but it was quite challenging. Okay, let's release any connections and inhale, lift the chest. Walk it back, bring up your knee back to Dandasana and change to the other side. Right knee up and right knee down. Sit tall, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, reach forward. Dandasana. Maybe take a halfway lift again, inhale. And exhale, come down. And then release any connections, lift halfway, and walk it back. Find Dandasana again. Good. Okay, let's come into a cross-leg position. Nice and easy, Tsukasana. And we'll just gently flow from side to side with some lateral flexion. So take your right hand outside the right hip, reach up with the left hand, and then we'll flex over. And then to the other side. So we'll do a few of these. Good. I hope you feel quite invigorated and ready to go about the rest of your day. After that little warrior no flow. I've forgotten which side we started on with these. Oh no, I haven't. Okay, let's do one more in each. Okay, once more over to the right. And then come back to the center. Roll the shoulders a few times. Good. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for this practice. If you still feel you want to do some more movement, maybe you would come into a Sphinx or a bridge. That would be a nice final pose to do. And also, if you have time, have some rest in constructive rest or in Shavasana or in child's pose. Then go about the rest of your day. Thanks for practicing. Om Shanti.